One really interesting change that this movie makes to the mythos is that in almost every version of Superman, Ma and Pa Kent are the ones who made him who he is. They are the ones who instilled him with his mission and his values and his outlook on life. They are the reason he is so good. And that is not the case here. What is the case here is that he has a fragment of a recording from his parents that tell him to be the protector of Earth and to use his power for good, and that he has made that the basis of his ethos and of his mission, of who he thinks Superman is and should be. When he realizes that this is not the whole story, that the Kryptonians are maybe not exactly conquerors, but they are not as nice as he thought they were, he begins to question his entire identity, and he kind of has to figure out what it is he wants to do and why. Because simply following the guidance of his parents is no longer on the table because they are not who he thought they were. And I thought that really worked.
They kind of twisted the whole jor-el and his parents messaging to him, and they're sending him to a place where he's clearly going to be the most dominant, and he's going to have no real challenges there. So it would make more sense for him to go there and rule as opposed to be a servant to the people of Earth. So I know people were up in arms about that, but I feel like that's a nice way of bringing him into modern times a little bit. And what do I do from there? Because I based my whole identity, I based my whole thinking around the first half of that message. And then now I've got new information. How do I act around that? So I thought it was a great change in the movie.
I hope they kind of explore this idea a little bit further in the following movies. One thing it really opens up is this whole idea of why even be a hero. This kind of puts Superman into a position in which he has to come to realize that there's nobody guiding him. He has to make these choices for himself. Right? He cannot simply follow the example of anybody. He has to do it himself. If they do this properly, 3 or 4 movies from now, like the Superman can have learned this lesson and can be turned into a very interesting person who said basically, look, when I was looking for guidance, there was nobody there to guide me. And so in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when other people need guidance, I will be there and I will guide them. I hope in a couple of movies, this is where this character will be, because that is really interesting. And that is actually a good reason for being such a Boy Scout, because he is frustrated with how not noble the world is. Right? Like James Gunn has said, this is a world in which Superman is kind, but the world is not. And as he becomes more powerful and more established and has a form of authority because of all the things he's done, he will be able to influence the world. And Jor-el wants him to be a conqueror, and he's going to make the choice of, no, actually, I'm going to be a role model. I'm going to be, I want to say influencer, and I hate myself for thinking of that word, but you know what I mean?